Hi, so another sequence I like to do before I set up Pilates exercises, weight bearing exercises through the legs, is sort the feet out. So, this is a sequence all about the foot. It seems very simple, it is, but it makes a big difference to the body. So, the first sequence is just about trying to get your feet talking up to the hips. So you always want to make sure you're on a nice railway line. You don't want to be too wide, you don't want to be too narrow. Ball and sockets off your hips above your ankles. So I'm trying to make sure I'm aligned to the center of my feet, and that's my standing position. I'm now going to turn sideways because the exercise will be more easily understood. And all I'm going to do is drag my heel back. I'm dragging the heel back and then it will rise a little bit. The weight shifts to the other foot. I drag the other heel back and the heel rises a little bit. I'm drawing away from the base of the big toe to allow the heel to rise. I'm not lifting the heel, I'm thinking pull the heel backwards. I pull the heels back so much that it almost pulls me forward. It's like your foot's stuck in mud. So draw the heel away from the base of the big toe to allow it to rise. Pull the heel away from the base of the big toe to allow it to rise. As you get used to this work, this feeling of pulling the mat, you'll feel the back of your leg fire up. As you pull the heel back, you'll feel the glute and the hamstring fire up. So it's about connecting the muscles to the action of the foot, of trying to pull yourself through mud. Now the next sequence looks the same, but it's very different. I just allow my heel to rise and then place it down. I'm going to turn back to the camera. So what I'm looking for as I do this sequence is that my leg is nicely aligned. I'm not twisting off or twisting in. So I just want to feel nice knees, knee aligned, up and down. And I'm thinking, just let the heel rise, crease on the toes. I can then add a variation. I come up on one leg and I swap mid-air. So there's nice trotting sort of patterning just to wake up the feet, wake up the toes, wake up the legs, starting to bring awareness of how your body is putting weight through your feet. Now the next sequence is all about just swaying forwards and back. Again, I want to make sure I'm nicely aligned. I'm going to turn sideways. I'm just going to place my hands on my hips. And all I'm going to do is think about transferring the weight of my body towards my toes and then transferring the weight of my body towards my heels. I'm transferring the weight back again, so there's a rhythm of moving from toes to heels. I'm not trying to let the toes lift, they might do. I'm not trying to think lift the heels, but they might do. And as I go backwards and forwards, it's like a ripple, like a wave going through all the bones of the foot. Now, I'm going to step away a little bit further, so you might see my upper body, and I'm just sort of letting my body sway forwards and back. I'm waking up the proprioception of my feet, of knowing where the weight of my body is. Sometimes there's a little sort of feeling of that you have to control, otherwise you go fall over. And that's exactly what we want to encourage, the feeling of what the nervous system is going to do to counteract the idea that you've moved too far. Next one is from side to side. So again, nicely aligned feet, don't let them turn in or out. And I'm just going to shift my weight into one foot and then shift my weight to the other foot. So I'm a bit like a mast of a yacht. I'm just sort of swaying from side to side. I'm keeping all my toes on the floor. I'm not allowing my little toe to rise. I'm not allowing my big toe to rise. I'm just allowing the ankles to move. But again, I'm just waking up my proprioception of what's going on, where my body weight is in my feet. My next sequence, I'm going to come a little bit closer to show you, is I'm going to go around in a circle. So I'm going to think front left foot, front right foot, back right foot, back left foot. That might be handed for you on the camera. But anyway, I'm going to shift to what's my front left foot. I swing around to front right foot, I swing around into back right foot, and I swing around into back left foot. I'm going around in a circle. Again, I'm going to step back so you can see the whole body a little bit better. And I'm going around. Notice I stay in one straight line through the body, like a ship's mast. I'm getting movement at my ankles, but again, I'm working out where the weight of my body is in my feet. Now, the feet have a lot of nerve endings in them. They fire up the motor cortex of the brain. So, like your hands and your feet, there's a lot of nerve endings which tells your body what's going on. Let's go to the other direction. So, I'm going around, just finding out where the weight of the body is. Front right foot, front left foot, back right foot. Again, it doesn't look very important, but it really gets the body to work out what to do. It starts to make the feet more aware of what's going on. It starts to make the feet able to help your body decide what leg muscles should be firing up when you make a movement. My last sequence, I'm going to come in closer again. I'm just going to put the weight of my feet onto the big toe sides of my feet. Then I'm going to put the weight onto the little toe sides of my feet. So I'm just rocking in and rocking out. Now, although it looks like my knees and ankles are just traveling in and traveling away from each other, I am thinking pour the weight down and then take the weight onto the outside edges. So again, put the weight onto the inside edges of your feet, put the weight onto the outside edges of the feet. Inside and outside. Good. Okay, I'm going to come to a balance, and then what I'm going to do now is just try and feel that I'm staying organized in my feet, that I've got the weight of my body balanced between the 2 feet. I've got it organized at the front, organized at the back, organized on the insides, and organized on the outsides. Now I'm just going to do some toe lifts. Now from here, I just want to let the toes float. They don't have to lift high. Place them down. Feel the surface. Notice I'm on my foam mat. I'm just going to press those toes down into the foam mat and feel my whole body respond. So I'm going to release. I let the toes lift. I place the toes down. I feel the surface underneath the pads of the toes. I keep the toes long. I'm not scrunching. And then I press down into the surface. So I'm pressing down into the foam and I'm feeling the responses in my legs. So I'm going for an isometric contraction of legs. I relax, the toes float up, and as I float the toes, I don't want my body shifting backwards or forwards. Place the toes down again. Feel the surface underneath the pads of your toes. Keep the toes long and pressing down. This time holding for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. With practice, you'll be able to lift the toes and keep your core connected so your body weight doesn't shift forwards and back. Place the toes down, press into the toes, keep holding. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then shake it out. After that sequence, I like to do a standing roll down, but I teach it in a very particular way, not a very Pilates way, but a way of trying to understand what's going on with the feet. So I want to imagine that I'm actually standing on a set of boxes. So I'm standing on those sets of boxes. I'm going to move my camera up so it's a little bit higher to give you a little bit more vision of what's going on. Hopefully that will give you more view for the standing roll down. So I'm going to be on my mat because it's going to give me a sense of softness. Now I've got to imagine I'm standing on a set of crates, a set of wobbly boxes. And if I don't do this correctly, I will come off those boxes. So what I'm going to do now is imagine on those boxes, I've got my weight organized in the front, back of my feet. I've got the weight organized on my 2 feet equally. I'm going to take a breath in, and as I breathe out, keep balancing on those boxes. I'm starting to soften my knees, I'm sending my hips backwards, and I'm keeping my weight controlled on the feet. As I roll down, I take a breath in, and then I've got to control the feeling of being on those boxes. As I unfurl, stand tall, the feet are pushing into the ground to lift me tall. I'm just going to stand away a little bit, breath in and out breath. Keep yourself balanced on those boxes, those imaginary boxes. You don't want your weight shifting forwards and backwards or sideways. Keep yourself on those imaginary boxes, they're quite wobbly, and then just feel how you use the feet to help press you up standing nice and tall. Let's repeat a couple more times. Breath in, out, breath. Again, these boxes are wobbly, so you've got to really be aware of how you're connecting your movement of your body through the surfaces of your feet on the floor. Are you pressing through the feet equally? Is the weight shifting around, or are you staying balanced on your imaginary boxes? Good. And that's about connecting my feet back up to my pelvis, up through my whole body. Thanks very much. Bye.